You might have trouble. You might want to try some of this yogic breathing or those kind of just counting your breaths, watching yourself breathe and that kind of thing. That would be a very good way of calming yourself down and allowing yourself to see things in a more positive light. But I don't see necessarily any of these things as being drastically bad.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay,
I
Frederica,
really
just so you know, Frederica, today is Stress Down Day.
Oh, it is?
It is a day set aside to relax and separate yourself from the stress of life.
Well, gee, we've just been through a very stressful 4 months, so
well, then
that'll help.
Take the day off, relax, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you very much for calling. Kevin is on the phone, calling from Yorktown Heights, watching on Cable Channel 12. I hope this is Kevin, am I right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, date of birth, December 14th, 1953, 12/14/53. You're on with Mary Michele.
That's correct. Hi, how are you today?
Good. How are you, Kevin?
Very fine, thank you.
Are you calling on a car phone, by the way?
No, I'm calling on a cell phone.
Okay.
All right. Was there a particular question?
Just generally professional and romance.
Okay, 12/14/53. You were born with the sun in Sagittarius, as you know, and the moon in Aries. So this is complementary. You have an understanding of, the conscious and the unconscious. Your ability to recognize the feminine in yourself is nice, which, I think is always nice for someone of the opposite sex to feel comfortable with the interior part of themselves. Mercury in Sagittarius, Venus in Sagittarius. Well, you're definitely a philosopher, or you're in the travel business.
Do international consulting, so a little of both.
Okay. This moon in Aries, it is going to be this hard angle I've been talking about today in terms of the feminine, both within yourself and the women in your life.
Mm-hmm.
There is a little bit of a stress or strain surrounding this. And I think that it's just about being consistent. The moon in Aries, as a rule, is not, you're good at understanding the feminine, but it's not about the consistent part of the feminine.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably not real good with wanting to be consistent, and sometimes perhaps the way you saw your mother she wasn't very consistent, and the women perhaps are not behaving in a very consistent fashion right now. So I think all you can do is kind of bear with it and create a little bit stronger sense of structure and discipline in the way that you relate to the women in your life.
Okay.
It's gentle. Try to be gentle. Moon in Aries is not gentle. It's a little abrupt and, creative, and let's start new projects and lots of energy. But it's not, as a rule, about being gentle, and you want to work a little harder on that, perhaps.
Very good.
Okay?
Very good.
Okay.
That's very
Thanks for
helpful.
calling.
I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you, Kevin.
Yes.
Thank you for calling. We're talking to Mary Michele, 82 degrees outside. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Georgina, who's watching on Cable Channel 12 in Katona. We will be back in 31 seconds. The Delta Shuttle is offering a low $49 Saturday fare each way from New York to either Boston or Washington, D.C. Just make your reservations, purchase your tickets at least 3 days in advance, and fly anytime on either Saturday or Sunday through May. Flights conveniently depart every hour on the half hour for both Boston and Washington. So take a day trip for shopping, sightseeing, or visit old friends with the Delta Shuttle's $49 fare. Alternate day returns are permitted at higher fares. Other restrictions may apply. Seats are limited. Call the Delta Shuttle for details. Call 1-800-WE-FLY-DEL. All right, 19 minutes before 10 o'clock. Mary Michele taking your calls at 241-1310. Let's get back to the phones. Georgina is calling from Katona. If I'm not mistaken, date of birth is December 3rd, 1956. Georgina, you're on with Mary Michele.
Thank you.
Hi, Georgina.
Hi.
Did you have a particular question?
Well, I'd like just a general reading. I have a rather long trip coming up, and I wanted to get your view about that, or your feelings about that. I had called last year, and you'd given me a reading then, and it was very helpful.
Oh, good.
I'm going to just touch base again.
Okay, well, I'm glad you did. The sun in Sagittarius, the moon in Capricorn, Mercury in Sag, Venus in Scorpio, Mars in Pisces. I think it's a good time with, Saturn having left Pisces. You're having more energy and the initiative to be able to travel and to, start new projects and so on. It's with Saturn having moved into Aries, it's working well with all these planets in Sagittarius. You have, other than the sun, you have Mercury and Saturn in Sagittarius, and there's a fiery component here, and definitely Sagittarius is about travel and long-distance travel and higher learning. So if you can combine in this trip, things that you're going to be learning about. Is it strictly vacation, or is it about?
No, it's not vacation. It's half pleasure and half, yes, learning.
Okay.
Yeah, that is one of the focus of the trip.
Okay. The thing is with the moon in Capricorn this year, there might be this push-pull where you're wanting to stay at home and make some money, because the moon in Capricorn is about wanting to feel very secure. Sometimes your issues around security are not as healthy as you would like them to be. You kind of long for a certain kind of security not all the time, but quite a bit. And this year there is a harmonious angle to that with Jupiter and Capricorn, so don't worry so much about the money while you're gone.
Okay.
Okay, it'll work out.
Good.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you for calling. And tell you what, we're going to take 37 seconds out. We've got Lydia, Denise, and Chris, I hope that's the name, waiting to talk to Mary Michele. We will be back in exactly 37 seconds.
Here's a great way to add value and beauty to your home. Call the Doormaster. We specialize in all phases of door and trim carpentry. For complete restoration and replacement and a fine selection of French, patio, and stained glass doors, it's the Doormaster. Call now for free consultation with mention of WVIP. If it's interior or exterior, you'll find skilled craftsmanship, reasonable rates, and courteous insured service. The Doormaster. Call us at 243-2389. 243-2389.
9:44 at AM 1310 and cable channel 12, WVIP, 82 degrees outside. Let's get back to the phones. Lydia is calling from Yorktown Heights, watching on cable channel 12. I hope she has a thermometer out there. It is cold. It's cold here, but it's warm outside. Lydia's date of birth is August 14th, 61. You're on with Mary Michele. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Lydia. Did you have a particular question?
I just like a general reading. I'd like to know about my professional and financial aspects.
Okay, the sun in Leo, the moon in Libra, that's a harmonious angle. You work well with your conscious and your unconscious. You are a lover of beauty. You are someone that likes to work in a creative environment. You like the place of work where you actually work to be a beautiful place, to look nice. Mercury in Leo, Venus in Cancer. There's a little bit, you're feeling a little torn today about issues surrounding security. Is there some change that's happening at work? Is there some feeling that you're not going to be as secure there?
Well, they're thinking about moving.
Right, moving. Well, the Cancer rules the home, real estate. So there's that push-pull where you feel a little bit like it's not going to work out because of the actual place moving, the real estate, I think really it's going to be okay, but it's understandable that you would be going through a little bit of this kind of turmoil. You have a Jupiter return this year. Jupiter was in the sign of Capricorn when you were born, and Mars in Virgo, Saturn in Capricorn. It's about expansion, contraction. You're going to be feeling that most of the year where, you're going to want to start new projects, and then you're going to have to bring them back and kind of organize them and make sure that they have some kind of structure. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, well, thanks for calling.
Okay, thank you for calling. All right, let's go to line 2. Denise is there. Denise is listening on AM 1310 in Katona. Date of birth, August 29th, 1955. Good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
Did you have a particular question?
I wanted to know what direction I should take with my career, which I don't have yet. What career should I have is what I want to know.
What was it? What was that last bit?
I said, what career should I go into is what I want to know.
Okay.
I've been home taking care of kids.
Well, you should have had some indication in January about what kind of career you might like to go in.
Well, writing is the direction, I guess. Something to do with writing.
Okay. But was there any potential of money in January?
Yes, there was. But I didn't. I took it up, but it's not working out. So I'm looking for something new.
I think it will work out, or something very, very much like it.
Okay.
How did this manifest? Were you?
I was offered a job in January, which I took, and I'm at, but I'm not sure that I want to stay there.
Well, the summer's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to move, and it's going to be tough to stay in the same place. There's going to be all these planets retrograde, and right now you're really feeling it because Virgo, when you have Venus in Virgo, the Sun in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, Mars in Virgo, you're very organized, analytical, but you're not being allowed to communicate in ways that you want to. So it should definitely get better by next week.
Okay.
And I think that you'll just feel able to communicate better after next week. Although, throughout the summer you're going to have to struggle with it. I mean, you could change and find a job very, very much like it. But I think it doesn't really matter whether you stay where you are or whether you change. This kind of frustration is going to be kind of there. But you're working in the right direction. You're doing the right thing. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes. Okay. Great.
So just, try to work it through. And in October, there'll be a big shift, and you'll realize that you did the best that you possibly could, and it's going to work out better for you.
Oh, great.
Okay?
Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank
Thanks.
you for calling. Shall we talk to Chris? Would you like to talk to Chris?
Sure.
I think it'd be a great idea. Chris is calling from Somers, watching on Cable Channel 12. Good morning. Her date of birth is March 30th, 1976. You're on with Mary Michele.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Did you have a particular question?
Well, I was wondering about my career choices, where I'm going in school, if I'm in the right direction, just things like that.
Okay. Was it related to school or to work or?
Just to school. I'm trying to just find my path in what I would like for my future.
Okay, you have the Sun, the Moon, and Mercury all in the sign of Aries. You're someone that's very, very good at initiating new projects. You're very good at taking risks. The Sun and the Moon in the sign of Aries, you're very, very focused, which is nice for Aries because, as a rule, Aries has this problem of not completing things. So, to have this sense of focus helps.
Okay.
But you still need to work really hard on structure. The next 2 years, it's not going to be so much about you coming up with new ideas of things that you want to do, but taking the ones that you already have and creating a structure with them. What are you studying in school?
I'm an English major and a minor in education.
English and?
A minor in education.
Education. Okay, well, I think English, of course, will, provide you with the inspiration and so on, but I think the part that you should focus a little bit more on is the education. You want to work more with the disciplines and the structures. I know that doesn't sound like much fun, it's not, but I think you're going to need that.
Yeah.
You're building something right now,
Okay.
and it has to be solid. The foundation has to be solid.
Right.
So, it's not that you're not going to have fun. Aries always knows how to go out and go to a party and make things happen and
great.
so on. But I think you really need to concentrate a little bit more about creating the structure.
Okay, definitely.
Okay?
Chris, if I may ask, where are you
Thanks.
going to school?
I go to Lemoyne College up in Syracuse.
Oh, how nice.
Yes.
Lovely, lovely town. Great carousel mall there.
Oh, yeah. It's really
Yes.
fun.
Passed through there
Can I ask
last
you about
week.
romance, too? Just
Huh?
something with that?
Well, the idea with romance is the same kind of thing. If you've been into variety in the past, you probably should focus on one.
Really?
There's I don't know. I was watching this special last night on biography about Hugh Hefner.
Okay.
And
Oh, goodness.
Figures you would
he
be,
was an
right?
Aries, by the way.
Oh, really?
So, and a lot of what he said, I think that Hugh Hefner really had, he had a lot of good ideas. This idea of understanding that the nature of relationships wasn't totally about puritanical values, was healthy. He came at a time that was healthy, and of course, he perhaps went a little too far. But, eventually he did have to come around to this idea of focusing on one and creating an inner structure for himself. So I think the same is true for you right now.
Wow. Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thanks for calling, Chris. Good luck in your studies. Line 3, Eileen is calling. Date of birth is May 31st, 1945. Almost my birthday there. 5/31/45, Eileen. Good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Did you have a particular question?
Well, yes, I would like to know about my emotional, as in romantic life, and my business, because I'm self-employed, just basically maintaining myself for 10 years. Will it get better?
What aspect of your business, I know this sounds funny, do you use your mind? I mean, are you analytical? What kind of business is it that you do?
I restore antique furniture.
Okay. Well, I think the part that's going to help you with the business is for you to use a little bit more, go back into the research of, the pieces that you're working on. You want to find out about a little bit of the history that's attached to them. That is the area in which you're going to be able to sell or increase your business by creating the history that's behind it. Okay, if you want to advertise by saying, okay, I restored Marie Antoinette's bed or something, that's the kind of thing that's going to bring the business into you by using your mental, your imaginative abilities to sell yourself.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, it does.
If you want to call back, I have to go, but next week, if you could call again,
You're not going to be here Monday, are you?
Yeah, why not?
It's Memorial Day.
Well, I don't know, Mike. Should I not be here?
Birthday.
What?
You got to be there. It's my birthday.
All right, well, then call
Happy
back next week.
birthday.
We'll be here.
Be quite interesting. Anyway, we're at 6 minutes before the hour. We have two other callers, Chris and Marge. We guarantee we're going to get to you. In fact, let's get to Chris right now. Her date of birth is October 30th, 1959. Chris is calling from Yorktown Heights. And good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Yeah, it's a he, not a she.
Okay, then we misspelled it CHRIS as opposed to KRIS.
Yes, and
Okay.
I just was wondering, I've been out of work since November with back problems, and I just had surgery, and I was wondering if you could foresee me getting back to my job, because I really enjoyed it.
Goodness, that's not fun. Let's see, you have a lot of planets in Scorpio. You have the Sun, Mercury, Jupiter. October 30th, 1959, right?
Yep.
Goodness, I don't know why you would have had, the chart is not indicating that you would have had all of this trouble in the fall, in November. What kind of work were you doing?
I was a machine builder in Yorktown Heights for a die casting outfit.
Uh-huh. I think that what this accident, or was it an accident?
Yeah, it was, the original accident was in '89, and it was chronic.
Right.
And it was a re-injury. And it was just to the point, it happened in August, the re-injury, and by November, I just couldn't even walk a bend anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think what this is saying to you is that with all of this Scorpio energy, Scorpio is the sign of rejuvenation. You can die to be reborn again and again. Scorpio's good at this kind of thing. It's a very intense sign, as I'm sure you've heard.
So I've been told.
Yeah, and I think the thing is that, perhaps there's an indication here that you ought to find some way of doing the kind of work that you do, but perhaps not physically.
Yeah.
And, that will help. Whenever one has to spend a lot of time in bed, I think that it's important for you to really rethink. And you should be being reborn a bit and understanding that side of yourself that isn't about the physical labor. You're able to inspire yourself and others in a different kind of way. I'd like to talk more about this, but we're running out of time.
Sure.
Could you call maybe next week or the week after?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for calling. Final call this morning comes from Marge, who is calling from Yorktown Heights. Date of birth is February 23rd, 1937. 2/23/37. Marge, you're on with Mary Michele.
Hi, Marge.
Hi, how are you, Mary Michele?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. I was thinking, I wanted to know if I should change my job or stay where I am. And the other question I wanted to know is, should I sell my house?
Okay, you were born at the full moon. Sun in Pisces, moon in Virgo. What was it?
The 23rd.
23rd. No, actually you were born, the moon in Leo. Sun in Pisces, moon in Leo. Mercury in Aquarius. Real estate you're asking me about?
Yes, but most of all, I would like to know about my job. Should I change my job or stay where I am?
Well, you have more energy right now. The last 2 years you have been your will has been sublimated. So, if this job has gotten to the point where you cannot see your way clear to being imaginative or creative about how you can enjoy working there, then it's time to move. But I don't think it's necessarily about a move. I think it's more about you just realizing that you have more energy, and the problem is you're probably remembering that you haven't had much energy, so it's difficult for you to even imagine that you can come up with new ideas.
You're right.
So I think that it's going to, you have lots of new ideas. If you want to pursue looking for another job, I think if one comes up for you, which is possible, that you might change. It's a good idea. Try it. But I also think it's very possible that you can create new things that'll keep you happy where you are.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Okay.
Hey, thanks for
you.
calling.
Thank you very much.
When people call and say, hey, you're right, this is the number one doubter when she started, right here.
Oh.
You're watching on cable channel 12. I am pointing at myself. No, I'm not trying to get a new blue stripe here. But I will tell you, you have been so far so accurate. It's, at times it's scary.
It's nice, Mike. It's very nice to hear that. But I really think it's more about people being able to, what I think that I am good at is I'm a pretty good communicator.
Yes, that you are.
And I'm hoping that people are able to see for themselves. It's not about me being right. It's about them being right about themselves.
I'm going to ask you to communicate in 30 seconds or less what this next week is going to bring for people.
Well, the Sun in Gemini, there's going to be a lot of activity. Everybody wants to get going, and there'll be lots of new ideas. Things will happen, new beginnings and stuff, new ideas, definitely. But it's going to be a little hard to do anything about it until the following week. So just let all this new stuff come in and enjoy it and have a good time with it, but don't make any decisions if you can wait until the following week.
Mary Michele, we have run out of time
Okay.
once again. Want to thank you for joining with us. Mary Michele taking your calls on astrology at 241-1310. We'll battle it out whether or not she'll be here next week. I don't know that I'm going to be here on Monday. It's Memorial Day, but we'll see. Have a great day. Have a good one. We'll see you again real soon on Meet the VIP. We have 82 degrees outside, sunny, hot, humid today, temperatures mid-90s, clear, mild tonight.
I've been discussing such important issues as how will the ravages of taxes and inflation affect the lifestyle that you're accustomed to. Please.
I've been waiting for 1 week, 6 days, 23 hours for this moment to arrive.
Good morning, Mike.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Mary Michele.
How are you?
Okay. Did you have a nice Memorial Day?
I did. I definitely did. I thought I might, maybe I ran off and joined the circus.
I didn't say anything. Did I say anything?
Mike thought my outfit today was a little outrageous.
No, I just think that the slacks with the, what do they call them?
Frills. They're kind of, Spanish, like a Spanish dancer.
Well, we'll do a little flamenco here, and we'll see what, No, we're not going to do that. Mary Michele is here taking your calls on astrology, 241-1310. Anything you want to talk about before we get to Karma, who's on line 1?
Her name is Karma?
Karma.
Goodness.
What do you mean, goodness?
That's quite a name to have a name like Karma. No, all I wanted to talk about today was 19th century astrology, but I think it might be more interesting to talk to Karma.
Is it Karma or Carmen?
It's Karma.
Karma, it is.
Wow.
Date of birth is June 14th, 1954. Almost a happy birthday. You've got 11 days.
That's correct.
You're going to be 14 years old then.
That's right.
Isn't it great when we do things like this? Anyway, good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning. Thank you.
Hi there. Did you have a particular question?
Yes. Can you tell me exactly what's happening in my life right now? Like romance goes. That's my first question.
That's your first question. Okay.
Yes.
You were born with the sun in Gemini, as you know, and your birthday's coming up, and the moon in Sagittarius. So you were born at the full moon.